It's just so icky. What is this? I learned a slur because of this book. All men suck. I think it's people with British accents. I think that's what it is. What's up, guys? My name is Natalie, and welcome back to my Nook of novels. It's been quite a while, once again, since I posted a video, and you guys know how it goes. My life gets chaotic, school happens, and I have a gazillion assignments to do, and then I just don't get to end up filming any videos. But I'm back, and I plan to stay this time. But you guys know how it is. We'll see what happens. But I'm really hoping to get back to posting one video a week. I'm aiming for Fridays, I think, right now. We'll just see what day I end up getting this one posted and when it seems realistic for me with my schedule for the summer. But honestly, my schedule is like nothing at the moment. So without further ado, let's get into the video. I haven't actually posted like a sit down video like this too in forever, because usually I'm doing my wheel videos or just random vlogs. But this one is normal, I guess you could say. I forget what I'm titling this. I think it's my brief and somewhat sarcastic thoughts on everything I've read since we last spoke. That is exactly what it sounds like. So I'm just going to go through every single book that I've read since we last talked. My brief and vaguely sarcastic thoughts are literally just going to be my notes that I wrote on them, which again are very brief and vaguely sarcastic. So let's get into it. I actually don't remember like when I last stopped talking about some of these, but I have a rough estimate. This is basically right before the things I talked about in my last vlog that I posted, because I never actually like finished those books and talked about my final thoughts on them. So yeah, the first one that I'm talking about is The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse by Charlie McKessie, I think is how you say his last name. I'm not 100% sure. This was a 5-star book. I loved this with literally every ounce of my heart. And I was at a graduation yesterday, and this girl started giving a speech talking about this book in it, and I was like, oh my god, it reminded me about this, and it just made me so excited all over again about everything in this book. And there's like a set of 2 pages that I really want as a print on my wall, but I don't think it actually exists, but I want to get it. So anyway, what I said about it was it's very poetic, very wholesome. I love that the mole loves cake. The art in it is absolutely beautiful, and I want pages from this book on my wall. Up next, we have City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. This was super entertaining. I love the banter. Oh, it was 4 stars. I forgot. That's kind of important. 4 stars. It made me smile a lot. It had an interesting plot, and I hated the ending so much. If you guys have read this, you know like what happens between the 2 characters. And just, I'm reading the second book right now, spoiler alert. Not spoiler alert for the book, like for what I'm saying later about my books. Just going into the second book, it's so awkward now, and I hate it so much. I hate this trope in general when that happens. It's just so icky. It's so nasty, and I don't understand why it ever happens, and I am now holding a grudge against Cassandra Clare for forever because of this. I'm kidding. I actually can't hold grudges, but if I could, then I would hold one against her. Orange Volume 1 by Ichigo Takano. I gave this one 4.5 stars, which I actually think is a lie, because in my memory this is 100% a 5-star read. I loved it so much. Very wholesome, almost on par with Heartstopper. I did not want to put it down. I love all of the characters. I feel like this is very awkward. These are like all 1-sentence things that I'm just like, 1 sentence, 1 more sentence, another sentence. Anyway, I think that this could help a lot of people struggling with mental health, and it's extremely enjoyable. Love that one so much. Next up, Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller. I gave this one 3 stars. Before I get into my thoughts on the story itself, I'm going to give you my thoughts on this book. Why does it look like this? I bought this from Amazon. I'm pretty sure I ranted about this already in a vlog, but what is Amazon doing? What is this? The cover is stolen from Penguin Classics and doesn't even line up with the edges. What is this? It bothers me so much. And there's no page numbers in it, and I got an email. Anyway, I dislike it with a fiery passion. Twas good, I guess. Interesting scenes of memories with the unreliable narrator. Those were all of my thoughts. Nothing happened in this, pretty much. Bunner Sisters by Edith Wharton. I gave this one 4 stars. This was fun. The writing is gorgeous. The main character is so selfless, although she's anti-Roman Catholic. I remember I learned a slur because of this book that I didn't know existed, so there's that. It was kind of happy and sad at the same time, and I liked that. A very interesting little slice of life situation. One of my favorite classics, and I can agree with that still. Looking back, I think this was pretty fun to read, which is not something I can say about a lot of classics. This was supposed to be part of a video. I'm hoping that it's still is going to be, but it's a video that I've had on my brain and planned to do for like 3 years now, probably like 2 years. and I don't have time for videos, as you guys know by now, but I'm still hoping to do the video on these, so just stay tuned for that. Actually, maybe don't stay tuned, because then you're going to be hoping that it's going to happen for probably a long time now, but just if it happens, you can look back on this video and go, oh my gosh, she foreshadowed it. But don't get your hopes up. The Rime of the Ancient Mariner by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. I gave this one 4 stars, and I really liked this, hence I gave it 4 stars. I loved the rhyming. It was very chilling, adventurous story, and quite beautiful. Although the cover, again, like the stock image, the blurry pixelated bird, like what is Amazon? Did they get paid for this? I really hope they don't, because they don't need to. It was really pretty and really cute, like I kind of already said. So on to the next book. Next I read Break Your Glass Slippers by Amanda Lovelace. I gave this one 4.5 stars. And honestly, all of Amanda Lovelace's poetry books are 5 stars, but it's hard for me to give them 5 stars because the first book I ever read by her was The Princess Saves Herself in This One, and that is one of my favorite books of all time. And so it's hard to read off her other books that are just as good and let them be just as good in my brain, because I loved her first one so much. So 4.5/5 stars. Gorgeous, empowering, and beautiful. Which I will talk about that one again later a little bit, because I also read, again, spoiler alert for later in the video, her collection of that book and the next 2 in that series. So I will have more to say later. Stop Emailing Me. 1984 by George Orwell. 3 stars. Some pretty quotes, important political commentary. Didn't find myself wanting to pick it up that much, and good descriptions. So, you know, it was alright. I definitely liked Animal Farm more. I liked how brief it was, and the fact that it got like the political points across in a very direct and concise way. I feel like this one almost had too much going on. That's not really the right words that I'm trying to say. Basically, I don't like classics that much, and there wasn't enough. I don't know what I'm saying. I really don't know what it was about this one, to be honest, but it was alright. It was enjoyable enough for what it was. So, yeah. Moving on. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. 3.5 stars. Super pretty writing, interesting perspective. Every character is toxic, and that's fun. And it was a good time. I think that sums it up pretty well. The perspective thing, it was told from like the point of view of different people, but one of them, it was like a point of view within a point of view. So it was like, this is what was told to me the whole time by this other person. And so it was just cool. It was interesting. Thumbs up. I know you guys are really excited for my thoughts on this one. It's Thanksgiving on Thursday by Mary Pope Osborne, number 27 in the Magic Tree House series. 4 stars. Cute and fun. The next one is Chopsticks by Jessica Anthony and Rodrigo Corral. This one was so fun. I don't know what it was about it. I do, actually. Just take a look at this and you'll understand. Literally, how fun is this? It's told completely in pictures. It's basically like a graphic novel, but it's just photos, which is just so cool to me. So I gave it 4 stars. Super fun and unexpected. Loved the immersive elements. There were like links in this that you could like type into your computer and it would bring you to actual stuff. Like you could look at the videos from this thing. It would be like, oh, she played at this concert recital. Those are the same. She played the piano and people watched her, and you could go and like type in the link and watch her as well. Some of them didn't work, but some of them did, and I just thought that was so cool. And then it would have like song playlists, and so you could like listen to the playlist and be like, oh, like this is what is like, involved in their love story. And like I just thought that was so fun. Amazing ending and super fun time. So I would highly recommend this. It's not, I wouldn't say it's the greatest story in the world, but it's just so unique and refreshing, and it was just so fun. It was such a fun time, and it was just really exciting to read, and you fly through it. It was just really good, and I would definitely recommend this to anyone who just wants to pick up something unique. Now, the last thing that I read in 2023 was Chasing Brooklyn by Lisa Schroeder. This one, I gave 3.5 stars. It was pretty emotional, mediocre characterization, great ending, and messages about dealing with grief and moving on. That's really all that I have on this one. In concept, it sounds like it would be really good and emotional and heartbreaking, heart-wrenching, like bittersweet kind of thing. And it is, but at the same time, the lack of character development, it makes it hit less hard than it could. But if you like that kind of thing, it's also told in poetry. So, you know, it moves by pretty quick and that kind of thing. So, you know, it is one one if you want to try something in poetry that you think will be sad. This is a good one, but I would definitely recommend something like Crank over this, like 1,000,000%. Crank is by Ellen Hopkins, by the way. Now let's start on what I read in 2024. The first thing that I read was Orange Volume 2 by Chico Takano. Again, solid 5 stars. This is so good. Wholesome, emotional, and made my heart happy. Really, that's all there is. There's nothing more I can say about this. It's so good. It's sad, by the way. These stories are about this girl who gets a note from her future self saying that she needs to save her friend from committing suicide. That's all you need to know. It's really emotional, really good. Please read it. You won't regret it. You'll fly through it too, because it's a manga. The Grapes of Wrath. 3 stars. Kind of long, kind of repetitive. Narration was cool. It was alright. I read this one for school. I feel like that says enough. One of Us is Next by Karen M. McManus. 3 stars. Interesting, good plot twist, pretty entertaining. I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. 5 stars. Do you hear that? What was that? It was like, ooh, like what? Anyway, sorry, got distracted. 5 stars. I love this book so much. Very impactful, very emotional, kept my attention very well, and just a great book. I listened to the audiobook of this one, and this made me realize, like, why people read audiobooks. It was just so good. Like, the whole time, I was so invested. I felt like my world ended when I finished this book. I was like, what do I do with my life now? Every day, I was so excited to go get in my car and drive somewhere because it meant I get to listen to more of this book. Like, it was just so good. And the fact that it's a true story is just crazy. It's wild. Anyway, The Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich by Dea Muniz? I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry. 4 stars. This is good. It was gay too, so there's that. It's a graphic novel. Gorgeous art. Super cute story. Sorry, I couldn't read my own handwriting for a moment. Loved the dog. It was gay. Very enjoyable. Grilled cheese. No Fear Shakespeare Hamlet by, you guessed it, William Shakespeare / John Crowther, I guess, made it the No Fear thing, but Shakespeare is the moral of the story here. 3.5 stars. So much easier and more fun with translations, because how No Fear Shakespeare works is Shakespeare's story on one side, what it actually means in real human English on the other side. So you can basically just read the whole thing in like normal people language and understand what's happening. So it's wonderful. Shakespeare is goofy. Once you like realize some of the innuendos and stuff, because it's like in real English, you're like, ah, I see what you did there, buddy. The Last Battle by C.S. Lewis, the 7th book in the Chronicles of Narnia. 3 stars. Meh. It's cute or something. Glad it's over. Just the whole series, 7 books is a lot of books. And when I was a little bit younger, it was fun being like, ooh, like look at this whole collection of all the Narnia books. I remember watching the movie and I was like, it's so fun. And just at some point I was like, let's finish that already. And so I did. I did it. It's done. Whoop-de-doo. Let's Pretend This Never Happened by Jenny Lawson. 3.5 stars. Funny, solid audiobook. Sorry, I was like, I can't read. Very attention-keeping. Furiously Happy is still my favorite. It's very similar to the Amanda Lovelace situation where I just can't rate it super highly because I've read Furiously Happy and it's just such a good, amazing, wonderful book. And so this was her debut, I think. And it was also weird listening to the audiobook and hearing how her voice has changed over time. I was like, this doesn't sound like Jenny Lawson. Like, who is this imposter lady? But yeah, it was alright. It definitely didn't make me laugh as much as some of her other books, but I was like, this is cool. This is fun. I'm entertained. The Awakening by Kate Chopin. 4 stars. Pretty writing, super defiant main character, very feminist. Honestly, a power move to write this during the time period, and quite good. Smiley face. Now we have How To, Absurd Scientific Advice for Common Real World Problems by Randall Munroe. I gave this one 3.5 stars. I want to start off by saying that it took me like 2 years to read this because I read the first quarter of it and then just kind of forgot that I was still reading it because, I don't know. It's one of those things where I kept trying to get it on TBRs just to be like, oh, I'm reading that, I should probably finish it. It is good. Like, once you pick it up and you get into it, you're like, this is really good. I'm really entertained. I don't know why I ever put this down. But also, sometimes it's like, there's a lot of parts where it gets into a lot of mathematical stuff. Sorry, I just like kicked the tripod and forgot that you guys are sitting on it and now you're having an earthquake. There's parts where it gets into like a lot of mathematical stuff and you're like, okay, buddy, I don't know what you're talking about anymore. But for the most part, like, it is super entertaining and funny and good. And there was this one chapter that was so fascinating and and I learned about property lines and the movement of tectonic plates, and I just felt so fascinated and like studious, enjoying learning about stuff. I don't know how to explain it. It was a very exciting moment for me. But anyway, pretty goofy. Some parts were super fascinating, the part I just mentioned. A couple parts were a little slow, especially the math, and would definitely recommend. Now, one of the ones I foreshadowed earlier, You Are Your Own Fairy Tale by Amanda Lovelace. I gave this one 5 stars because overall, all of her books are 100% 5 stars. They're so good. Every last one. They're so good. So what I said was gorgeous, super inspiring, love the art, favorite poet ever, everybody read this, that's a threat, you have to. For legal reasons, that's not actually a threat. Next, I listened to the audiobook. I almost threw it. I listened to the audiobook for Escaping from Houdini by Carrie Maniscalco. I gave this one 3 stars. Too long, was pretty decent, didn't hate it. It's the 3rd book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. Honestly, after the 1st book, I think maybe I just took too long to continue the series, but I don't know. Aside from the romance, I just don't really care. I feel like it's kind of the same thing over and over again, but that's just me. Sorry, guys. House of Many Ways by Diana Wynne Jones. I listened to the audiobook of this one as well. I gave it 2.5 stars. Meh. A lot and nothing happened at the same time. Definitely would have cared more if I read it physically, though maybe not a ton. I couldn't tell you a single plot point, and she likes books, so that's cool. This is one of those, you'll notice a theme with some of my audiobooks, and it's that I just tune them out because I don't care. Things like, this is more foreshadowing. One of Us is Back. Great. I'm glad my mom died. Wonderful and fantastic. Project Hail Mary, really good. Like, I'm like entertained and listening. I think it's people with British accents. I think that's what it is. Just House of Many Ways, I'm like, Escaping from Houdini, Les Miserables, ugh. You know, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what it is. I think it's the accents though. But anyway, I talk by TBR, and that's what I care about. Next up, we have, I need to stop throwing these. Anyway, Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. You can kind of see where I started giving up on my assignment here because of the tabs. Again, read this one for school. It's by Jane Austen. I don't know if I said that or not already, but I gave it 3.5 stars, question mark. Not bad as far as classics go. All Men Suck. I think I really like her writing style, but sources cannot confirm. One of Us is Back by Karen M. McManus. 3.5 stars. I feel like I remember this more of 4 stars in my brain, so maybe I'll change that later. But it was pretty enjoyable. I don't remember anything about it. I did pay attention though, and that's what counts. Now, the last one that I have finished as we speak, right this moment, Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. 4 stars. This was not a good book. Yes, you heard me correctly. 4 stars. That was not a mistake. If I wasn't super invested, I was laughing at how terrible it was. Pacing at the end was wild. All of those were capital letters, with an exclamation point. I don't care if he had trauma. He was an asshole. Smart pacing wasn't great. There was a lot in the beginning of their situationship, but none when they were genuinely in love, so you didn't get to see them doing it for entirely genuine and loving reasons. Cap's past with Miles came out of nowhere, and I kind of ate this up and had a grand old time, so do with that what you will. This is not good, but it's great and entertaining, but it's not good. It's not, you guys know what I'm saying? I was laughing at it. And I had a couple quotes in here that I wanted to read you guys because it's really important, okay? So just listen here for just a moment. I'm wearing Minnie Mouse scrubs. He leans into me again until our shoulders are touching. I've kind of always had a thing for Minnie Mouse, he says quietly. This next one, the sentence is exactly what it sounds like. I just want you guys to know this is not out of context. This is what they're talking about, okay? It is. And there's nothing I can do to console you after you hear this sentence, so I'm sorry in advance. Just absorb this, okay? Just for a moment. I'm going to give you a minute to prepare. That wasn't a minute, but I think you're prepared enough now. We both laugh at our son's big balls. Have you absorbed it yet? Because I haven't, and it's been like a month. That was a book. And I gave it 4 stars, so do with that what you will. Next up, all of the books that I am currently reading. I'm listening to the audiobook of Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. I have about 6 hours left, which is really, really good because it's a 57-hour audiobook. And as I started reading this, I was like, I have a little itty-bitty review that I want to give you guys of my perspective so far on the book, if I can find it. It's here somewhere. I found it, guys. 57 hours of a dude being a priest. Just read the Bible. And honestly, that's fair. you know? I still agree with that. There's more to it. There's some girl, you like watch her grow up or something. This honestly has been like the experience of a short story because I kind of listen to it in little bits and snippets and I hear like one little part and I'm like, oh, that's cool and fun. And then I hear another part and I'm like, I don't know who you are, but that's cool and fun too. Sorry, I got an Instagram notification. I feel like some of you all are probably watching this and heard that and were like, oh, what's my Instagram? And it was just mine. So you're welcome for that. But anyway, this book is, again, I'm just tuning it out. It's really long. I want it off of my TBR. I'm gonna mute my phone now just for your guys' sanity. And it was free on Audible. It was free. And then I get a little notification on my phone being like, by the way, in 23 hours, this won't be free anymore. You're gonna have to pay for it. And you know how much of my audiobook I had left? 28 hours. If you do the mental math there, that's not enough time to finish my book. So Audible did not warn me enough, but it's fine, it's whatever. Okay, next up, I'm reading City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. This is the one that I'm actually currently reading. The next ones, I'll explain this in a minute, but I am 156 pages into this. Again, the awkward thing with the interactions between these two people because of what happened at the ending of City of Bones is really getting on my nerves. But aside from that, it's cool, it's fun. The world, the vibes, the New York City, the fun little, oh, it's magical here, it's nice, it's fun. I would recommend the series. But just that one thing that I just cannot get past, you guys know, if you know. I hope you know. I hope you do. I'm also reading Dreamcatcher by Stephen King. When I say that I'm reading this, I mean I got really invested for the first 200 pages, and then I was also reading another book at the time, and I think that's when my homework started getting to copious amounts to where I could not actually read real books anymore, and then I had to start reading stuff for school, and things got wild. It got crazy. This was good so far. I'm actually really excited to read the rest of it. The foreshadowing, the hints, like building up to things. I remember so much from this, even though it's been months and months since I picked it up, but I just remember being so invested, having all these theories in my head that I'm like, this definitely is not right at all, but it would be really cool if it was, and I'm just really excited to see what goes on in this. But also it's really long, almost 900 pages, but I'm honestly not even bothered about it. Like, I'm still gonna read this and love it and not care that it's really long. So I don't know if that says anything to you guys, but for me, that's a win. And then next up, we have The Hunted by Charlie Higson. I started reading this because I was like, that's a series that I really need to finish. And I always forget when I pick up these books that the only way for me to actually be successful while I read them is that I just have to be in a super reading mood and not be very busy. Because when that happens, I fly through these so quickly. But if I'm busy, they're just not ones that my heart is like, you need to pick that up. Does that make sense? There's nothing about it that I'm like, pick that up right now, even though you have like 20 essays you have to write. But if I am in a reading mood, I'm like, this is really fun, and I fly through it, and it's great. So I will be reading this one soon. I mean, I am reading it right now, but also I have a video coming up that is foreshadowing, and you guys don't know what that means, and that's fun for me because now you get to wonder until that video comes out. So stay tuned for that. I just remembered something else that I was going to talk about sooner in the video, and I forgot, but that's okay because I'm still here with you guys and can talk about it now. I was going to say something really cool right there, and I couldn't think of anything fun to say as a little transition, so I'm just going to get into the thing now. So the fun thing that I'm talking about is these guys. These guys are the star of the show. They're made of rubber bands, and I am selling them on Etsy. Not you guys specifically, just all your friends. You know what? That didn't sound great either. Most of them are not my original designs. They are designs that I have found based on tutorials on YouTube, and all of them will be credited to their original designers in the Etsy page where I'm selling them. There's these guys and so many more. They're in all different styles. There's like bracelets, keychains, these guys. There's like smaller versions of them that are not quite in this style. Basically, there's so many options. So many different colors you can choose from. You can get basically any of them you want, and you can even custom order things. So if you really want a giraffe that's in this style, but you don't see him on my page, you can go and ask for one. You can order a thing and just tell me in the description what color you want him, what style you want him in, and the fact that you want him to be a giraffe, and I will make him for you, and he will show up at your door in however much time that it says on Etsy, because I don't have it memorized. At first, it's going to be a little bit of trial and error, figuring out how long it's going to take me to make each of the orders, but I definitely overestimated on the Etsy page. I think it might look like it's going to be a really long time. It just depends on how many orders that I have at the time and what my life looks like at that current moment. So I will be trying my best to get all of them done in a super fast and efficient and timely manner. But yeah, please, if you guys want to support me and buy some of my things, then the link will be in the description below. But that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I have missed being here. I hope you guys have missed my videos as well. I will have my Bookstagram and Goodreads linked in the description if you guys want to check out either of those. I haven't posted on my Bookstagram in a while, but I definitely will try my best to be posting on there more regularly in the coming future. So if you guys do want to follow me on there, then I will have more and more things there that are available for you guys to experience. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.